Let's cross now live to our I-24 News contributor, Julia Chapman, who is standing by for us in Vilnius, Lithuania. Julia, U.S. President Joe Biden is meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. More talks on Ukraine becoming a member and a timeline, or will this likely focus on America's delivery of cluster bombs and the need for more weapons to be sent to Kiev?
Undoubtedly, it's going to be more about bilateral relations when, in a few moments' time, the U.S. and Ukrainian presidents meet on the sidelines of the NATO summit. It has already been ruled out that any kind of timeline will be offered to Ukraine on when it could become a NATO member. And Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been frustrated about that, although he did take a more conciliatory approach when he gave a press conference earlier alongside Jens Stoltenberg. As we've just been hearing, he was praising some of the deals that have been offered by individual member states. We've seen France agreeing for the first time to send long-range weapons to Ukraine. That's something that Ukraine would also like to see from the United States, and something that hasn't been on offer yet. He's planning to raise that with Joe Biden, but also talking about deepening cooperation with the country. It also comes, though, as a number of countries have issued security agreements now, a framework for security arrangements one-on-one with the G7 nations, most of whom are also NATO members. It's considered to be a step towards NATO membership, but not a substitute for that.
And Julia, just briefly, a few years ago, former U.S. President Donald Trump said the defense alliance was all but finished. French President Emmanuel Macron called it brain dead. But the images coming out of Lithuania today show a very different story.
They do indeed, and I think that NATO has seen its purpose reinvigorated by the war in Ukraine. It has seen a threat emerge that it perceives to be a threat both towards Ukraine but also towards NATO itself. It has bolstered its defenses along the eastern flank here in the Baltic region and further south as well. So the allies are certainly seeing more and more value to being a member of this organization. Indeed, the U.S. has taken more of a leading role in the past year than it has for many years. It's now leading the way on all of the defense plans that are coming out of this particular summit. So certainly a shift because of the security situation across Europe, but also more widely. We heard the NATO communique yesterday speaking about threats from Iran, from China, from North Korea as well. So really looking at the evolving security picture across the world, but particularly on what is perceived to be aggression from Russia and indeed neighboring Belarus.
I-24 News contributor Julia Chapman covering the NATO summit in Lithuania. Thank you.